The Mukono-Katosi road works at the height of the controversy over the illegal subcontracting of the project to another contractor. Before this, 58 million shillings was spent by government to carry out due diligence on a contractor that was already in place, according to a past audit report. How many times have you come across reports or news on such projects and government activities where money is spent annually with no value or benefit? The Katosi Road Due Diligence Report is an example of nugatory expenditure.
Nugatory expenditure is a technical term that is used by the auditors, and in this case the Office of the Auditor General to explain expenditures that have been made by accounting officers, but of which no value is realized.
The 2017-2018 Auditor General's report details how 65.3 billion shillings was wasted in this manner, up from 26.1 billion shillings reported in the 2014-2015 financial year. Most of this money goes into construction services, court awards arrears and penalties for delayed payments.
Most worrying is that some of these expenditures which could be avoided. For example, expenditures which come up as a result of delayed obligations by the different departments and agencies.
Increasingly, nugatory expenditures are beginning to look like a loophole for siphoning government funds. Anti-Corruption Coalition Uganda, working with other transparency organizations, thinks this could be a conduit.
So unless something is done to address these nugatory expenditures, we're going to see an increase. And of course there are ripple effects on the economy.
We have had also expenditures that are not within the budget line. You find the accounting officers just spending money as if it's not been budgeted for.
The government has in place policies such as the Debt Reform Strategy, Public Finance Management Strategy, the Public Finance Management Act 2015, and tools like the Integrated Finance Information Management System and e-procurement to minimize opportunities for corruption to take place. However, they seem not to be having sufficient bite to stem the bleeding of taxpayers' money through nugatory expenditures.
Say that accounting officers who are not sticking to the law, because those expenditures come out of mischarge, what we call a mischarge. And we are saying if you are mischarging your budget, then you should not be appointed an accounting officer in the next year.
Indeed, Uganda has some of the most robust anti-corruption laws and policies in Africa.
In fact, some studies rate Uganda at 96% in terms of enactment of anti-corruption laws, and at around 54% in terms of implementation.
Poor planning, capacity weakness, poor budgeting, inadequate releases and limited adherence to financial regulations, among other, are to blame. E-government, e-procurement are mentioned as solutions that would ultimately remove the human-to-human contact that seems to make the misuse of government funds possible. And government has gone some way to implement them.
Human interaction definitely increases the chances of corruption. So if we have an interface whereby you don't see the person on the other side, but you maybe are dealing with a computer, I think it would go a long way in solving some of the challenges.
Yeah, and then they should also see how is the monitoring process, the supervision process, how can it be improved upon.
If the government is to be believed, consequences are being planned for errant accounting officers.
We can also recommend that, this accounting officer is not very fit to be an accounting officer, especially where public money is involved.
You are now going to see real action.
Hopefully, with implementation of more robust mechanisms to ensure accountability of public funds and more vigilancy from anti-graft institutions, perhaps nugatory expenditures may become a thing of the past, if not, at least be substantially reduced.